good? My name is David Giese, also known as Cheapy. On Instagram, you can catch me at That Barber Cheapy, and I'm located here at Ace of Fades, Imperial Beach. I got my first fresh skin taper from a guy named Mark Condenzato. He was barely starting up at the time, and he was cutting hair in his backyard. So at the time, we were pretty cool, so I went over there and got a couple of haircuts from him. And thanks to him, man, he would always drop knowledge, man. So whatever I asked him, whether it was like a skin fade or a taper, I would pick up different techniques from him and I would learn from him. And you know, big shout out to Mark, man, owner of Goodfellas Barbershop out there in North Park. Super cool cat. So after maybe about 6 months, I think it was my birthday, and my brothers, they actually bought me a Flowbee. So if you don't know what a Flowbee is pretty much a clipper, has a vacuum attached to it on the top, and then also has no lever on the side, so you can't like adjust your fades or anything. So when I did haircuts back in the day, it was like you gotta constantly scoop out or you gotta constantly like flick out in order to do a fade. So I started on myself, and with that being said, I did a lot of bad haircuts on myself, did a lot of good haircuts on myself, and then I started cutting up my brothers, my two older brothers, Ivan and Chris. I started cutting those two up, and slowly but surely got better at it, man. Where I lived at, I was cutting up in the garage. There was a lot of neighborhood kids. There was about maybe like 20 of them, and then from there, I just started cutting up all of them, man. They would kind of roll through and be like, hey, yo, Cheap, hey, yo, can I get a cut? Can I get a cut? Started off at one, had like about 20 little clients at the time, and then I started getting better. So I was like, all right, cool, like I'm gonna go ahead and start charging for this. And it's always was like a part-time thing. Like I would go to work and then come home, cut hair, and that's pretty much what I did. So I got good at it, and then maybe like when I turned 18, I got a job at the high school, and I was coaching high school basketball, and I was coaching the freshman and junior varsity team. So for whatever reason, one of them got whiff of it that I cut up hair, and from there, it just took off like wildfire. I had like my whole squad, like everybody was fresh before every game. I was cutting them all up, tapers, fades, you name it, designs, I was pretty much doing it at the time. You know what's funny is I still actually cut some of them to this day. So it's a trip how haircutting kind of opened up doors for me, for real. After I got done coaching for about maybe 5 years, I got my job at DirecTV, doing a actual 40-hour 9-to-5 job. With that, whenever we would go on loans, so for us, loans are like, hey, you go to a hotel, you go to this city and you go work there for a month. I would bring my clippers, I would bring my whole haircut set, and then I would be in the hotel room cutting everybody up in the bathroom. Shout out to my boy Carlos, Tommy, Herm, Ivan, my brother, everybody's who's ever supported me, you know, on the road while I got to cut your guys' hair. Much love, much appreciation, man. Yeah, so I was cutting up people left and right, and in the South Bay, I'm gonna say my name was kind of buzzing just for a little bit back in the day, and it was cool, man. The hype was cool. How I actually started getting into like trying to be a licensed barber. I was cutting hair for 14 years without a license, and yeah, throwing myself under the bus. It's all good though, but now I'm official, so it's all good. Yeah, I have had like co-workers like constantly talking to me saying, hey, you know what, go get your license. I even had managers, my parents were like, hey, yo, go get your license. And then there was this one night, it was me and Polo, we were in the garage and we're hanging out, you know, talking and stuff like that. And he was like, yo, like, I'm gonna take you on Monday. We're gonna go get your school, and we're gonna go and put you in barber school. And I was like, you know what? Like, he's like, come on, just go in and let's check it out. I was like, all right, cool. So we ended up going to the school that he was at. The hours and stuff didn't work because I had a full-time job. So I had to have something that was flexible and that would allow me to kind of go to night school. That school didn't work for me. So Polo was like, hey, let's go to the school that Manny went to, which is ABC. And then I was like, damn, I don't know, like maybe cost a little bit more money. He's like, you know what, let's go. Who cares? It's your license. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's go. So we ended up going down to the barber school, and we ended up talking to Joe and Michelle. And a big shout out to them and everybody at ABC and all the instructors. Super cool, they're like family for real. But yeah, we started talking to Michelle, and she was such a sweetheart. She was like, hey, Cheapy, you know what? Like, give me your hours that you can come to school, and if you're dedicated, we can make it happen. So I was like, all right, cool. So she gave me a tour of the school that same day. She was like, yeah, let me see what hours you want. She was able to help me out and work with it. And yeah, eventually graduated. It's been an awesome journey so far. And to be honest, now that I have my license, this is just the beginning. So I'm super stoked for you know, what the future has ahead for me. Cool little background story is when I barely started cutting hair, it was maybe about a year into when I was cutting hair. Polo, he's my neighbor and my best friend for about the past 20 years. So when I was cutting hair one day, I remember it was like homecoming, and he was at my house in the morning. He was like, hey, what are you gonna do today? I said, you know, I'm just gonna be here all day chopping up. And he was like, oh, okay. I'm like, hey, you wanna make some money? And Polo, he's the type of guy to never back down from making money. So with that being said, I said, you know what? I'm gonna grab one chair, and then, so pretty much we'll have two chairs. I'm gonna set one up for you, I'll set one up for me. The way it went, it kind of went like an assembly line in my garage. So I would tell Polo, hey, if this guy's gonna get a number 4 and say a skin fade, I would have Polo grab the number 4 clip, do the number 4 all the way around. And then from there, I would have him do the skin part. And then from there, that person would sit on my chair. And then from there, I would finish the haircut. And whether it was like a fade or a taper, I would finish it off. And then I would actually do the lineup. So we kind of had like a little assembly line. It was cool. And that's how we kind of started to pick up the clippers. And then from there, I told him like, hey, yo, whatever we make today, I'm gonna split it up in half, because you did your part, I'm gonna do my part. We'll break it right down the middle. So sometimes we'll make, at that time, haircuts were only 10 bucks that I was charging. So we were only making maybe 200 or maybe 300 bucks. And yeah, we just split it right down the middle. I break them off, I get a cut, he get a cut. After that, he started picking up the clippers more, and I literally stayed fresh for like the next couple of years, because he was just constantly cutting my hair all day. Skin fade, skin fade, skin fade. And you look at him now, he's a monster at skin fades. I'm not saying, I'm not taking any credit for that, but yo, I had a lot to do with it. I'm gonna say that. That guy, man, he is such a monster. He's one of the best barbers I definitely know. And the way he's built his Ace of Fades is stupid crazy, man. When he told me that he was gonna join barber school, and I remember this, he asked me, he was like, hey, you wanna join barber school with me? I looked at him, I was like, you know what, nah, I just started this job. You know, I'll catch up to you eventually, I'll get there. So he started barber school. He ended up opening his first shop a couple years later. And I've always been part of Ace of Fades. I've always supported him, and no matter what he did. And that's my boy, man. Got a lot of love for him. So he opened up that first shop, then I see him open up this shop, and I was like, damn, like, my dude's really doing things. And then he opens up a tattoo shop right in the barber shop. I'm like, damn, man, homeboy's not stopping. So I got his support 100%, man. Whatever he does, I'm proud of him. And yeah, man, much love, for real. Man, what really motivates me in the end is this right here, just me barely getting my license. It's just the beginning. I got so many more things to accomplish, even though I only do this maybe part-time, sometimes almost full-time. But I try to put in as much content as I can. The best thing about cutting hair is you kind of got some freedom in here. Like, I'm not saying you can do whatever you want, but it's more of a chill, relaxed environment. I get to cut hair with my best friend, Polo. I get to cut next to Manny, to Fabian, to Westcott, you know, all my boys in here. It's cool and I enjoy it. And then the other best part about it is my clients. Without my clients, man, I wouldn't be here. Obviously, my clients, they're the best. I appreciate them very much. The best thing about it is when they get up off the chair and they look at their haircut and they're like, damn, yo, this thing's fresh. Or I get that call the next day and be like, hey, yo, Thanks for the cut, man. Yeah, you really hooked me up. Like, that goes a long way for me. That right there, I appreciate that very much. And every day, I'm just trying to get better. Just trying to do me, man. That's all it is.